What does a group of ageless immortals do when they realize that they have become pawns in the hands of a terrible being that's about to destroy the Earth? Hello, and welcome to our channel. Today we will recap and review an American action and superhero movie called Eternals. Let's check it out.
The movie begins with a brief story of the origin of the current dispensation. In the story, the Celestials were the first to emerge, with Arashem, the prime celestial being responsible for creating the sun. The universe lived in this stable state until certain unwelcome creatures, referred to as deviants, came in from outer space with a mandate to destroy humanity and everything within the universe. To stop the activities of the deviants, Arashem put together the Eternals and sent them to tackle these nuisances. In 5000 BC, somewhere in Mesopotamia, the Eternals and deviants have a showdown, with the Eternals gaining the upper hand. As each Eternal deploys their individual superpower that goes from superhuman strength to flight, speed, and more, they take down these outer-worldly visitors. The next scene reveals that it's present day. One of the Eternals, Cersei, is seen. She's a teacher now. She's also in a relationship with a fellow teacher, Dane. As much as he loves Cersei, she seems to have a mysterious vibe around her, and this makes her quite reserved about her love for Dane. She reveals this to Sprite, another Eternal, one day as they walk home, with Dane walking a little distance ahead of them. Without warning, a deviant emerges and a fight ensues. Cersei and Sprite are forced to use their powers to battle this deviant, leaving Dane really perplexed. As this unusually powerful deviant attempts to finish off Sprite, Icarus, one of the most powerful Eternals, flies in and battles the creature until it flees. Cersei tells Dane about her true origin. Just to put this in perspective, Dane has been trying to date someone who was around before the first seed of his ancestry was conceived. Cersei says she believes that all the deviants had been taken care of by them years ago, and so she's surprised that they've found one. Dane asks why they've never intervened in all the wars, diseases, and crises of the world, but Cersei says they were advised against interfering with human activities.
In essence, she's saying, "Oh, inhabitants of Earth, we are powerful and possess great abilities, but feel free to shoot at your neighbor or pollute the atmosphere. It really isn't any of our business anyways."
They have been left on Earth to watch over the affairs of humans, although they do not interfere. Dane asks about the impressive male figure who dove in to drive off the deviant, and Cersei tells him that they both had a relationship that lasted for 50 centuries. Yes, you heard that right. 5,000 years. However, Icarus got up and left abruptly one day and was never seen until now.
If Dane's head and mind are not reeling at this point, then nothing else in the world would ever shock this guy. He's coming to terms with the information that troubles literally everything he has ever known. Their conversations reveal to him that there is a lot more to the universe than meets the eye.
When Cersei and Sprite meet up with Icarus, they explain to him that the deviant they fought was able to fight them, heal itself, and possessed an unusual level of strength. Icarus believes that it would be a good idea to gather the team together. Cersei agrees and asks that they start with Ajax, their team lead. A flashback reveals that back in the year 575 BC in Babylon, the Eternals were fighting off another attack by the Deviants. Ajax is seen communicating with Arashem. She tells him about the progress that the inhabitants of the Earth are making and believes that the planet may be a great place because of the people on it. Arashem, however, reminds her of her purpose on Earth. Here it is also seen that Cersei and Icarus got married, with Drigg and Makari also being seen close to each other. As the scene returns to the modern day, Icarus, Cersei, and Sprite are seen driving off to find Ajax. As they get to her home, they find her lying lifeless in the open with her house destroyed. The others conclude that it's obvious that the same deviant had come after her and taken her life. As they appear distraught over her demise, there is a transfer of her ability to communicate with Arashem to Cersei. After a brief talk with Arashem, she returns to the consciousness of her surroundings. She informs Sprite and Icarus about what just happened, and when Sprite asks her to contact him again, she says she doesn't know how to. A flashback to the 16th century shows the Eternals watching a city overtaken by war. Because of their strict instruction, they are unable to intervene. Thena, one of them, begins to act in a strange way and even goes ahead to stab Ajax. Drigg is also frustrated with their tolerance of the evil that man brings upon himself. He believes that their philosophy is wrong and acts out of their given instruction by using his mind control powers to bring the fighter under his control. At this point, Ajax tells the Eternals to choose any type of life that they want. Because of Thena's troubled mind, her memory has to be erased, and Gilgamesh, a very strong one of them, decides to watch over her until she improves.
Ajax is a great leader, and she is loyal to the voice of Arashem. However, humanity's behavior is beginning to push some of the Eternals to the brink. They're probably frustrated about having this enormous power, yet not being able to use it. Druig doesn't believe this is right and goes his own way.
Kingo is next revealed as a modern-day Bollywood actor. He has a loyal manager, Karun, who manages his schedules and itinerary. When Cersei and the team arrive to tell him about the demise of Ajax, Kingo doesn't really feel up to the adventure. Over time, Kingo has become used to a regular life and no longer feels the need for that extreme lifestyle that they were used to. Karun, however, encourages him to join the team, as this would be the fulfillment of one of the greatest duties of men, which is to defend their families. It is further revealed that Kingo had made a name for himself in Bollywood by acting, even though he's been the same person over the years. After getting Kingo, they fly to Australia where they meet Gilgamesh and Thena. Thena again becomes troubled, but Sprite uses her power of illusion to rejig Thena's memory. As the team shares a meal, Cersei is able to establish a connection with Arashem and finds out that they have been scammed. Alright, this is what I mean. The Eternals were not some superheroes sent to Earth to save the inhabitants of the planet. It turns out that at the end of every 1 billion years, a celestial must be born. To accomplish this, Arashem plants the seed of the celestial being in the host planet, in this case, the Earth. The planet is then expected to grow in number until its numbers can feed the emerging celestial with intelligence. When this huge number required is met, the celestial emerges, draining off the intelligence of the inhabitants of the particular planet. The deviants, however, began to attack humans, so the Eternals were sent to eliminate the deviants so the population of the human race could grow and form the needed number for the celestial to be born. In this case, Tiamat, the celestial to be born. Unfortunately, whenever any celestial is born, the host planet is destroyed. Cersei is also made to understand that Earth is not their first mission, and they have been helping celestials be born for quite some time. After every successful celestial birth, their memories are reset. Again, he tells them that they were not born in Olympia, but they're programmed. Arashem ends by telling her not to fail him, as she is now the Prime Eternal. Cersei returns to the table to tell her team what she just learned. They are distraught by the news and want to know if they should stop the emergence of the Celestial. Icarus, however, says to gather everyone before they decide on what to do. The team next goes to Amazon, where they find Druig. He now has a village of whose inhabitants are pretty much under his control. Druig still has some misgivings about the team and walks out on them. A series of conversations reveal that Sprite is in love with Icarus, but cannot tell him how she feels. Icarus, on the other hand, is seen trying to explain to Cersei why he left. However, before he's able to, a deviant appears and carries him off. A fight breaks out in the village. The Eternals lead the villagers to safety while battling the invading deviants. Thena is affected by this attack and begins to react in a way that suggests that she is no longer in charge of her mind. Gilgamesh, who's been protecting her, is caught between fighting the deviant and protecting Thena. In a brief moment of distraction, the deviant mortally attacks him, taking his life and power. The unintelligible creature now has the ability to speak and vows to defeat the Eternals. Icarus' laser shots, however, drive the beast away. As they cremate Gilgamesh, Druig agrees to help them stop the emergence. However, he admits that he is not powerful enough to control the mind of a celestial. They decide to get Phastos, a brilliant Eternal that impacts knowledge to all of the civilizations that they have ever visited. They find him, and after a little reluctance, he joins them. They then find Makari, a speedster who happens to be deaf.
I'm not really so sure why a being so powerful needs to be deaf, except of course maybe she blew out her eardrums while speedrunning one day. We will never know.
Phastos plans to create a system that would enable them to unite their minds as one. This would give Druig the ability to use their combined strength to control the celestial that is to be born. Kingo is worried about the safety of the plan. Sprite asks Icarus for his opinions, but he leaves it to Cersei to decide. Sprite is unhappy about this and then leaves the room. Icarus also walks out and is then followed by Kingo. Kingo tells him that he is ready to follow him to the end. Icarus then tells him that he is not who he thinks he is. There is a flashback to a few days earlier when Icarus goes to see Ajax. She tells him that she wants to stop the emergence of the Celestial. She also tells him that the people of the planet have changed her. Icarus agrees with her and confesses his loyalty to her. However, he tells her of something that he wants her to see. He takes her to an icy area that is very deep and shows her deviants trapped under the ice. Icarus' true intentions are now revealed. He says he wouldn't allow her to betray Arashem, as it is obvious she no longer has any faith in him. He pushes her into the midst of the deviants as they attack her.
One of the greatest causes of conflict has always been blind loyalty to ideologies. This seems to be the case with Icarus. He considers the dwellers on Earth as disposable for what he perceives to be the greater good.
Icarus is next seen telling Circe that he wishes she didn't plan to interfere with the emergence. Circe senses that the emergence has begun, and Phastos asks Makari to find out where the Celestial is to emerge from. She speeds off to do so. Meanwhile, Icarus returns to the room, now dressed in his suit, and he destroys Phastos' device for unifying their minds. He tells them that he was responsible for Ajax's demise, but it was something that had to be done. Makari returns with the location of the Celestial to be born. Icarus practically warns them against interfering with the emergence before leaving. Sprite also goes with him. Kingo backs down from fighting, and Droog asks that they get a backup plan in the event that they have to fight against Icarus. Phastos takes the device that helps Circe to communicate with Arashem and uses it to forge bracelets that keeps them connected. The emergence begins, but the Eternals battle to stop it with Icarus, who is really one of the strongest among them, fighting against the rest of them. Circe goes to the spot of the emergence and begins to freeze the Celestial, but Icarus appears and almost takes her life before changing his mind and joining their mind union. In the end, they are able to stop the emergence of Tiamat. Icarus apologizes to the team and flies off to the sun. Yikes, that must really hurt. Sprite decides to become a human so she can grow and have a normal life, while Circe also returns to her relationship with Dane. As the movie ends, the clouds are seen parting as Arashem himself shows up and takes Circe and the other Eternals remaining on Earth. It turns out that there would be repercussions for their disobedience.
This movie departed from the regular Marvel movies. It was almost dark, as it had the protagonists turning on themselves and some of them even losing their lives. It also brought in a lot of activities from a dimension out of this world. Although a number of viewers had varying reactions to this movie, it was quite a breath of fresh air. So if Marvel movies are your thing, then you definitely need to see this one. Please subscribe to our channel to be notified when we upload. Also, don't forget to suggest movies that you want us to recap in the future in the comments down below.